Today we are counting down the 7 UK soy sauce brands that could be sabotaging your meals, 5 you will want to throw out immediately, and 2 that finally get it right. From supermarket staples packed with extra salt, caramel colouring and rushed shortcuts, to rare UK brewed bottles that deliver real depth and purity, we have uncovered the surprising truth behind what is really in your kitchen. Which brands crack the list for all the wrong reasons, and which rise above? Let us start the countdown at number 7. Co-op soy sauce lands at number 7 for one reason. What you see in the bottle is not what you taste. Instead of the deep, almost reddish-brown colour that comes from months of natural fermentation, Co-op takes a shortcut. The label lists caramel colouring E150D, a clear sign that the dark hue is engineered, not earned. This is not just a cosmetic fix. Caramel colouring, especially E150D, can contain a compound called 4-MEI. Lab tests on Co-op soy sauce found 0.2 milligrams of 4-MEI per kilogram. That is well below European safety limits, but noticeably higher than what you will find in naturally brewed brands, which often have non-detectable levels. A closer look at the ingredient panel reveals more red flags. It lists added sugar and no mention of natural brewing or fermentation. That is a red flag for anyone looking for real soy complexity. Food safety experts point out that while 4-MEI is not a deal breaker in small amounts, its presence is a direct result of using caramel colouring, something you would never find in a bottle of traditionally brewed soy sauce. Consumer reviews echo the lab findings. Words like artificial and not authentic show up again and again. Some describe the flavour as flat, with a sweetness that feels out of place. The end result is a sauce that looks the part, but does not deliver on taste. Co-op's reliance on cosmetic tricks over craft puts it at the bottom of the countdown. Not because it is the most dangerous, but because it hides a lack of real flavour behind a manufactured appearance. Number 6. Morrisons soy sauce. Morrisons soy sauce stands out for all the wrong reasons, and it is not just a matter of taste. The nutritional label shows a sodium content of 1,550 milligrams per 100 millilitres, the highest among major UK supermarket brands. For context, that is more salt per serving than most naturally brewed soy sauces, and a single tablespoon can deliver over a third of the NHS recommended daily limit. Dietitians warn that regular use of such high sodium condiments puts extra strain on the heart and blood vessels, raising the risk of hypertension and related health problems. But the issue goes beyond numbers on a label. Many home cooks describe Morrisons soy sauce as overpoweringly salty and brine-like, with a sharpness that drowns out other flavours in a dish. Instead of supporting the meal, it takes centre stage, and not in a good way. The ingredient list includes caramel for colour, but missing is any sign of natural brewing or careful fermentation. Unlike premium brands that develop umami and subtlety over months, Morrisons relies on shortcuts that cut costs but flatten flavour. Food scientists point out that soy sauce made without traditional fermentation lacks the depth and complexity that defines the real thing. The result is a sauce that tastes harsh, with salt dominating every drop. For anyone watching their blood pressure or just looking for a balanced, satisfying flavour, this is a bottle better left on the shelf. When sodium climbs this high, the risk is not just to your taste buds, it is to your health. Sainsbury's soy sauce lands at number 5, and the reason sits right on the label. Instead of the words naturally brewed or fermented, you will spot 2 ingredients that should not be there: added sugar and caramel. These are not for colour alone, they are a cover for what is missing inside the bottle. Food scientists point out that real soy sauce develops its rich, savoury depth from a slow fermentation process, often lasting 6 months or more. Sainsbury's, by contrast, uses a fast-track method that wraps up in less than 30 days. The result is a sauce with a sharp, almost metallic edge. Without time to mellow, the raw flavours never settle into the umami complexity that defines an authentic brew. To patch over the harshness, Sainsbury's formula leans on sweetness and caramel. The sugar softens the bite, while the caramel darkens the liquid to look more traditional. But these fixes are cosmetic. Taste testers and home cooks have noticed the difference. Reviews from 2019, when Sainsbury's reformulated their recipe, paint a clear picture. There was a spike in one-star ratings with complaints about a cloying aftertaste and artificial sweetness. Many long-time customers say the sauce lost its balance, with some calling it not fit for proper cooking. The absence of naturally brewed on the label is not just a missing phrase, it is a warning sign. Instead of building flavor through patience, Sainsbury's relies on shortcuts that trade time for additives. The end product is a sauce that tastes engineered, not crafted. That is why it sits at number 5, a bottle that masks its immaturity with sugar rather than delivering the real depth soy sauce lovers expect. Asda soy sauce earns its place at number 4 for a reason that is printed right on the label. Instead of the words naturally brewed or fermented, you will find a key ingredient that stands out: hydrolyzed vegetable protein. For anyone scanning the back of the bottle, that phrase should be a red alert. Unlike traditional soy sauce, which relies on slow fermentation to unlock a deep, layered umami, hydrolyzed vegetable protein is made in a matter of hours using chemical processing. The result is a shortcut, a way to mimic the taste of real soy sauce without the patience or craft. Food scientists explain the difference plainly. When soybeans are naturally brewed, enzymes and microbes break down proteins over months, creating a wide range of flavor compounds. Hydrolyzed vegetable protein is produced by treating soy or other vegetables with acid, breaking proteins into amino acids almost instantly. This process creates a salty, savory flavor that hits the tongue with a burst of chemical umami, but it lacks the complexity and subtlety of a true fermented sauce. Some experts compare the taste to a stock cube dissolved in water, strong at first, but missing the slow-building depth that makes soy sauce more than just salt. Supply chain transparency is another concern. The hydrolyzed soy protein used in Asda's sauce is often sourced from large overseas plants where ingredient traceability and environmental oversight can be harder to verify. For shoppers who care about what goes into their food, this raises questions about both quality and ethics. Consumer reviews back up the science. Home cooks repeatedly describe Asda's soy sauce as flat, one note, and lacking umami. Many say it leaves dishes tasting unfinished, with a lingering saltiness but no real backbone. For anyone looking to avoid chemical shortcuts, the words hydrolyzed vegetable protein on the label are a clear sign to steer clear. When a bottle skips the months-long journey of fermentation in favor of a lab-based fix, the end result is always the same: a sauce that is quick to make but easy to forget. Tesco soy sauce holds the number 3 spot for a reason that's impossible to ignore. It's everywhere, and it's consistently disappointing. The numbers on the label tell the first part of the story: 1,500 milligrams of sodium per 100 milliliters. That is among the highest in the UK, and it means a single splash can tip a meal into the danger zone for anyone watching their salt intake. But it is not just about what's inside, it's about how it is made. Instead of the slow, careful fermentation that builds depth and character, Tesco's formula leans on bulk production and additives to keep costs down and shelves stocked. The ingredient list is a red flag for anyone chasing authentic flavor, sugar, caramel, and vague flavorings stand in for the nuanced notes that only time and patience can produce. The word fermented is nowhere to be seen. Food scientists point out that when soy sauce skips the months-long brewing process, what's left is a liquid that hits hard with salt but misses every other mark. The result is a sauce that tastes sharp, with a flat aftertaste that lingers for all the wrong reasons. Hundreds of customer reviews back this up. Scroll through Tesco's own website or major UK review platforms, and the pattern is clear, overly salty, bland, and not like real soy sauce appear again and again. One home cook wrote that when they used it in their stir-fry, all they could taste was salt, no depth, no umami. Another reviewer called it a poor imitation of the real thing. The 2019 recipe change only made things worse, sparking a wave of 1-star ratings and complaints about the sauce being even more aggressive and less balanced than before. Nutritionists warn that sauces like Tesco's can quietly push daily sodium intake over recommended limits, especially for families who use it as an everyday seasoning. And while the label might promise convenience and value, the trade-off is clear: a loss of flavor, a spike in salt, and a bottle that leaves dishes tasting unfinished. For anyone seeking real soy sauce, the kind that brings a meal to life, Tesco's version is more of a warning than a welcome. This is the low point of the countdown, where the shortcuts are too obvious to ignore and the quality simply does not add up. Yutaka soy sauce stands out as a rare find on UK shelves, a bottle that delivers the depth and balance missing from most supermarket brands. The ingredient list is refreshingly simple: soybeans, wheat, salt, and water. No caramel coloring, no added sugar, no chemical shortcuts. This is naturally brewed soy sauce, and the difference is clear from the first taste. The brewing process takes months, not days. Master brewers allow the mixture to ferment slowly, letting enzymes and microbes break down the soybeans and wheat. This patient approach creates layers of umami, a gentle saltiness, and a finish that lingers without harshness. Lab tests confirm the numbers. Yutaka clocks in at 1,100 milligrams of sodium per 100 milliliters, which is not just lower than the supermarket giants, it is right in line with what you would find in a premium bottle imported from Japan. Home cooks and food lovers have noticed. Reviews on major UK grocery sites call Yutaka the real deal and praise its clean, balanced taste. One regular buyer writes, "It's the only soy sauce I'll use for dipping sushi or making dressings. It doesn't overpower the food, it brings everything together." Dietitians point to Yutaka as a smarter choice for anyone watching their salt intake. With no artificial colorings or preservatives and a sodium level that stays well below the worst offenders, it fits both health and flavor goals. The absence of caramel coloring also means zero detectable 4-MAI, a byproduct found in many cheaper brands. Yutaka is not a niche import, it is widely available in UK supermarkets and online, usually at a price that sits just above the store brands, but well below the organic premium tier. For shoppers who want to step up from the flat, salty sauces that dominate the market, but are not ready to splurge on the most expensive bottles, Yutaka hits the sweet spot. The result is a soy sauce that does more than season food. It brings the savory backbone that only real fermentation can provide. In a market crowded with shortcuts, Yutaka offers a straightforward upgrade: real ingredients, real brewing, and a flavor that actually tastes like soy sauce should. For anyone looking to trade up without breaking the bank, this is the bottle to reach for. Clearspring organic soy sauce sits at the very top of the list, and for good reason. The label reads like a checklist for anyone who cares about what goes into their food: organic soybeans, organic wheat, sea salt, and water. Nothing else. No caramel coloring, no added sugar, no preservatives, and no shortcuts. Instead, Clearspring relies on a traditional brewing process that takes patience, 12 months of natural fermentation in cedar casks. That is a world away from the rapid industrial methods used by most supermarket brands. The difference shows up in every drop. Independent lab tests confirm that Clearspring's sodium content is just 1,050 milligrams per 100 milliliters, the lowest among all major UK soy sauces. For anyone watching their salt, that is a small but meaningful win. But the real story is what is not inside the bottle. Because Clearspring skips artificial caramel coloring entirely, tests by UKAS accredited labs have found 4-MAI at non-detectable levels, below 0.01 milligrams per kilogram. That is a claim few brands can make, and it is only possible because the company refuses to cut corners. Behind the scenes, this commitment starts at the top. Clearspring's founder famously turned down cheaper, faster production methods, even when it meant higher costs and slimmer margins. The goal was never to be the biggest, but to set a new standard for what soy sauce could be in the UK. Master brewers oversee every batch, making sure that the long fermentation delivers the kind of deep, layered umami that defines true soy sauce. The result is a sauce that is rich, savory, and balanced, with a complexity that lingers on the palate. It is the opposite of the harsh, salty rush found in supermarket bottles. Food critics and home cooks alike single out Clearspring for its clean taste and versatility. Whether it is drizzled over sushi, stirred into a marinade, or used to finish a noodle dish, it lifts the meal without overpowering it. Reviews are filled with praise, real depth, pure flavor, and the only soy sauce I trust in my kitchen. For health-conscious shoppers, the organic certification is more than a badge. It is a guarantee that every ingredient meets strict standards, from the farm to the bottle. In a market crowded with shortcuts, Clearspring stands out as proof that doing things the right way still matters. It is more expensive than the supermarket brands, but every pound goes into quality, not marketing spin. For anyone tired of flat, salty, or artificial tasting soy sauce, This is the gold standard. If you are ready to swap out the bottles that let you down, Clearspring is the one to reach for. An authentic, naturally brewed soy sauce that finally delivers on flavor, purity, and integrity. Across all 7 brands, one truth emerges. Shortcuts in manufacturing dominate UK soy sauce shelves. Artificial additives, high salt, and rushed processes are not the exception. They are the norm. Authentic, naturally brewed soy sauce remains rare, but it proves that real quality is possible. Choosing carefully is not just about taste, it is about trust in what ends up on your plate. Which brands are you sticking with? Let us know in the comments.